How's it going, Jack Tackers, and welcome back to another video for you guys. Today I'm going to be doing my review for Succession Season 4, Episode 7, which was titled Tailgate Party. And what do you know, another good episode of this season. I really enjoyed this episode, even though it primarily took place all in Tom and Shiv's apartment, but it was still very interesting just to see everybody's interactions and stuff. But yeah, this was kind of the pre-election night party. And it looks like next week's episode is going to focus on that aspect, and I'm very excited to see what happens. I don't think Connor is going to win, of course, but it'd be interesting. And speaking of Connor, Roman in this episode actually wants him to drop out of the election, and then by the end, Connor and Willa kind of decide that they're going to stick with it because, they've decided that they were already putting a lot of effort into it, which is true. And, I'm a bit of a con head myself. It obviously would be pretty cool to see Connor become the president, but I don't think that's going to occur. Anyway, in the cold opening of this episode, we also got to see Kendall and Rava, which it was good to see Rava make an appearance. I think the last time we saw her was in season 3, maybe. So yeah, it's been a while, I feel like. And they have a conversation, her and Kendall, about Sophie. Apparently, she's not wanting to go to school at the moment because there's some anti-ATN stuff going on there. And then Ken and Rava end up getting in a bit of a fight. And that was kind of unfortunate, that it kind of spiraled out. That kind of conversation spiraled out of control there. But yeah, it was good to see Rava. And at this tailgate party, Mattson ends up showing up to the party because apparently he was previously invited by Logan beforehand. And then he shows up out of the blue at the most inopportune time when everyone is trying to have a moment of silence for Logan, and then he shows up. It's hilarious, man. But I love that scene. We also got to see Nate in this episode as well, and that was pretty cool because it feels like it's been a while since we've seen him in the show. And then we got to see Greg trying to kind of prove himself to Mattson and make him feel like he's been kind of underestimated this whole time. Showing that Greg can kind of fire people and he doesn't care about firing people, as we see earlier in the episode, because Tom makes Greg fire a bunch of people, which was hilarious. He's reading off a script, and Greg is just stone cold at this point. He has a very interesting character progression. I mean, he kind of starts off the show, obviously, not really knowing what's going on, and now he's with it and stone cold, which is just kind of annoying, actually, because Greg used to be one of my favorite characters, and now he's just unlikable, if we're being honest. But it's kind of funny. He was my second favorite character, maybe my number one favorite character, actually, at one point back in season 1, because he was kind of the underdog, and now he's just trying to show Mattson that he's a capable guy, basically. We also got to see Roman and Jerry reunite in this episode. Roman kind of, I guess, apologizing to Jerry, but Jerry's not really having any of it. She's still pretty pissed off at Roman. And it looks like their friendship's ruined, or their relationship. They've had some history together. But yeah, that was a good scene, though. And Roman screwed up big time with that moment in the last episode, firing her, even though apparently to him it was some sort of a joke and he wasn't serious about it. But, Roman is in a bit of a pickle with that whole situation. But, And what else we got? We had Mattson have some wonky numbers in India. And then at the end of the episode, it's revealed that Kendall thinks Waystar should acquire Gojo. And he actually tells this to Frank, but he hasn't talked to Roman or Shiv about it yet, which is pretty interesting. He's kind of going behind their backs. But, Kendall, I think he's stepping up as well. He kind of wants to call the shots, so to speak, which is perhaps why he doesn't really go to Roman or Shiv about this. But yeah, that was a big reveal, Mattson maybe isn't really who we thought he was. He might not be this powerful guy, really. Because if Kendall believes that Waystar can actually acquire Gojo, which I don't know how that's going to go down, by the way. Frank says it could be messy and, stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know exactly how that's going to go down. It'd be pretty difficult, but Kendall, he's got some crazy ideas, so who knows? He might be able to play it off well. Who knows? I don't know. But it would be very interesting to see. And yeah, I'd like to see how that goes down. But yeah, that was a very, very interesting moment in the episode. Mattson might not actually be all that powerful in the grand scheme of things. So I mean, he's still powerful, but you know what I mean. And we got one of the best moments in the episode where we have Tom and Shiv have that verbal argument, that fight on the balcony. And my goodness, man, let me just tell you, Sarah Snook, I think that's how you pronounce her name, and Matthew McFadden, they are amazing. I mean, they've always been amazing. Of course, everyone's amazing in this show, but particularly in this scene was just amazing, dude. Great performances there. And you can kind of see both sides of the argument. Tom kind of feels hurt by Shiv. Shiv feels hurt by Tom. And I remember seeing this moment in the like trailer for season 4 and being like, when is this going to show up? And finally, in this episode, we get to see it. And it was just really well done. And I do think you can see kind of both sides of the argument, which I think is the genius of the scene. And even though I feel like Shiv has done some certain things that makes sense for Tom to be mad at her. And Tom's, obviously is a bit of a snake, as Shiv calls him in the episode. And that whole scorpion gift thing was very odd. But I guess to Tom, it was like a funny joke he thought Shiv would like. Apparently not, because Shiv was kind of confused by it. And I was confused by it too. But I just loved that moment on the balcony. One point I thought Tom was going to jump off or something. I'm kind of joking, of course, but I don't know. At the end of the episode, we have that final shot on Tom lying in bed, which I think is pretty brilliant, just to kind of show that throughout the whole episode, he was incredibly tired, and we have that moment where he's like kind of wanting to usher people out of his house, which was also pretty hilarious. And he's like, "All right, go home. Don't forget your coats." Oh my God, that was funny. And you can see through the whole episode that he's exhausted, and yet at the end of the episode, when you finally see him in bed, and he's finally, I guess, gets what he wants because he's in bed, but he still cannot go to sleep because he's thinking about Shiv and all that, which is just, I don't know, it's pretty brilliant, I feel like, to just kind of show that he's still not going to sleep. I mean, I don't know, just because there's a lot of it on his mind and stuff like that, and I don't know, it was really, really good stuff there. But I did like the episode. It looks like next week's episode is going to be pretty amazing. I think Jesse Armstrong, the creator, actually said it's going to be like one of the bigger episodes of the season. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I don't know what exactly is going to happen. I mean, we're probably going to find out what happens with the election, of course, which is a big deal. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. But I did like the episode. It'll be very interesting to see where these final 3 episodes go. I actually can't believe there's only 3 episodes left. That's very sad, actually, but very exciting as well. And I'm just curious to see what you guys have to say about this episode down in the comments below. What were your thoughts on it? What was your favorite part? For me, obviously, it has to be that Tom and Shiv fight. It was amazing. And Matthew McFadden and Sarah Snook are just, they're greats. They're coming for the Emmys, let me tell you. I mean, everyone's coming for the Emmys from this show, of course. But let me hear your thoughts on this down in the comments below. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new. And I will see you guys in the next one. Check out my Letterboxd and Twitter down in the description. Peace.